Hello everyone, hello. I actually ordered these from Papertess for her happy birthday sale, I believe. I think I ordered July 3rd and I sent it to my new address here in the Netherlands and got it within the week. And I feel very thankful that I can do stuff like that now. And yeah, anyway, I got these because I was mostly curious. And I looked at these just very slightly just to get them out of the box, but wanted to go just a little bit more in depth on, I don't know, just exploring these a little bit. I love the Papertess design of things. I do have a manager's notebook. I did get the A5 Slim, but I was just really curious about the paper in this one. It's a 2025, so it's half the year is gone. Please don't mind the plastic sounds here real quick. I think they'll come out real quick. I definitely did not take this one out yet, so this needs a little nudging to get out of here. And wow. So, and I know I have not updated my manager's notebook sharing yet. I want to show this and then maybe I'll touch base on what I've been doing. It's hard. This one is definitely a different beast to handle. And I have the same layout. It's just much smaller. And I wanted to see what it was like bigger. And I wanted to see what this paper was like. So I'm going to be playing around with this. I'd have to compare, dates and things. It's not a leap year next year, but I could redate this and use it next year. It's a thought. It'd be a lot of redating, but I mean, the structure's here. So I don't know how much I'm going to actually play with this. I do like this bigger format and I do like the black. I did get the light colored, and if I were to order this again in the A5 Slim, I think I would get the black cover. But I think since I have this, I might end up just using this for next year. Now that I kind of think about that. I'm not a huge B5 person, but, and also I have space here to show a whole B5 and this teacher planner. I'm glad I can zoom in and out. This is actually working really, really well. So I'm kind of shocked. I also got just a little weekly TN planner. I've been using TN a little bit more for not commonplacing, but just recording my whole travels as of late and how things have changed over the past 6 months. So I thought I would get this. This is an undated, and I just love the typography in this. It looks like a typewriter, and it's already numbered here. So I'm not sure quite what I'm going to do with this, but just having a weekly, I don't know. I'll do something, and thankfully it is undated. So yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I mean, I could track certain hours of things. Anyway, my brain's like really full. But anyway, I love like her foiling on here and everything. But I was also just really interested in this teacher planner. I got like the navy here, and this is hefty. I know people have kind of already reviewed it a bit. I haven't even watched any other videos on this. So this is just my first impressions. There is a magnet on the side here, which is really nice. And you do get the thank you in here. I didn't even use my thank you code. That's okay. It's going towards a very good purpose, little creator for her to create more. So just with all the moving stuff, I just didn't even think about it. There is some just little, oh, something's gonna fall here. I have my previous stuff just stacked next to me. There's just like, I think it's just paper, little tiny bits on here. I think if I use like a lint roller, these will come off because they're moving. They're just on there. But yeah, I love her typography. This is a nice little folder here. But I heard, I haven't like looked into this yet, is how to use this if you're not a teacher. Just looking at the layouts, I'd love to look at layouts and go, what could I possibly use these for? Here's a bunch of contact name and addresses. I don't think I'd use that. Would not be writing down passwords. I have a password manager for that. But if I was a teacher, maybe it would be nice to have an analog, because sometimes those systems go down and you need to have that password ready. I know teachers go through a lot. So birthdays, that would be nice to have all the birthdays. This is where all your students would go. But just having all the birthdays together. And then class schedule here. Let me just move these over a little bit. I have room now. This is really interesting because it's a Monday through Friday. And then you have 10 like periods, I guess. So you could put in the times of that, and then you have a nice big information here, seating information. And you have that a few times. So if you're teaching, what does it have? 4 classes. So 1, 2, 3, 4 that repeat during the week, right? Because this repeats. And seating info, I guess. Classroom resources. I don't know. I wanted to just mainly see this and think about, like, this is a cool checklist layout. But I think I'll look up like how other people are using this. Oh, look at all these checklists. Oh, that's fun. I love the tabs on the sides. Plans for 2026. Yeah, so this starts so this is 2026 here. 2025. Yeah, so you have both years in full. And then this version of seeing the whole, so you have quarters, so you have, the last 2 of 25 and the first 2 of 26. Oh, and you get actually through 2026 there. So you do get through December, which is nice. More plans. I find this really interesting. I'm not a teacher, but I see how this could be really beneficial to plans and ideas. So it's 12. You get 12 of them. I'm trying to see what this is. Are these months? Like July, August, and then through the beginning of the year. That's what it kind of feels like. Or are these supposed to be reversed? I don't think so. I don't think there was a typo in here. Yeah, because it goes to the end here. I don't know. I find this is just beautiful. The typography and how simple it is. And then you get like a whole month to look at. This definitely reminds. So my dad used to work as a school psychologist. And so I remember him having like it was this size, but it didn't have any rings on it, but it was just this big planner that used to open up. Sorry, I'm tapping my mic. It's in a new position for me. And I remember him, he had a caseload and he had lots of kids he was trying to coordinate, and and then you have the weeks here. Okay. So right now, currently, you only have Monday through Friday. So we're entering this week, Monday the 14th. Here in the Netherlands, my son, his new school just got out yesterday on the 11th. So he was too late to do any testing or anything. Thank goodness, because we still have jet lag here. So he will test the second day of school that starts in August, the very end of August. Excuse me. Sorry. And then it goes right into August. So you do have a Saturday, Sunday here, which is kind of nice. And then you do have the week numbers. I just love how big this is. And that's why I'm kind of like looking at both of these going, how could I use this a little differently? So you have the whole month here. And this is more for business, but you see how I love the typography of both. They're just a little different, but I don't know. I don't think my brain can quite handle the possibilities right now. But if you have, I don't know, a lot of medical stuff, medical's usually Monday through Friday. So I could see, people coordinating healthcare through this too. But this is really heavy I would not call, I've had Moxie Life, and this is way heavier than Moxie Life, I think. No, actually, after picking this up, it's about the same. It actually feels a little lighter than I expected it to. But because they have like the week and then they have a bunch of in-between things that you are kind of reflecting back on the week, I wonder if you could do that here. So you have the week and then you could have notes, and then like maybe you have lists here and then a reflection at the end of the week. You could definitely do that. Let's see. So when you get to the end of the month, yeah, there's definitely room back here to do further reflections. Like there's plenty of room back here. Sorry, I have some marker on my fingers and my cuticles are horrible right now because we've been opening so many boxes. And then having just like a to-do list for the month and what you really want to focus on, and just maybe some visual reminders. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of other ways to use this. So it's the same all the way through here. I'm loving these dashboards. And then you get to July, and then you just get to the back with, I think these are all just lined and dotted, just a combo. And then these pockets are huge. So yeah, I don't know quite what I'll do. I definitely, when we were packing up our lives in the US, I did have a bunch of old journals that I wanted to keep, and that's one of the things I left behind. And I definitely had 3 Moxie Life about this big. They're kind of hard to archive, if you're staying small. I think we have about 10 boxes at my mom's. Yeah, it's really not that much. There's like a stuffed animals box. There's a memory keeping, 2 boxes each for myself and my son, like stuff from when I was 5, some stuff when he was 5, that kind of stuff. A bunch of papers. We don't have like scrapbooks or anything. And it was really cool to go through them. But yeah, all those planners that I have, I've tried to keep them all since I started planning, which was probably 2008. No, before that, 2004. There were some simple little, like I was just keeping track of hours because where I was working at the time, I just needed to keep track of my hours at the time. I was in a print house, like pre-print. And so everything was hourly, and I was doing a bunch of overtime too. It was before kids. So, I look at these types of really thick planners and then the box with it, and I'm like, ooh, I know the collection that I have at my mom's. Eventually I'll get that all over here. Probably, we want to see how these next couple years go. But it's a lot to archive this. So it's much, much easier to have like a smaller book like this, like this thin and maybe in an A5 or maybe a TN size. Like it's much easier to archive those sizes. So I am kind of thinking like, if I use this in depth, is it just to play around with? Is it something I want to archive now that I have like the experience of purging so many things? Like, what do I actually want to keep? I had some Laurel Denise. I'm trying to think if I kept one. I don't think so. I think they were so big and they weren't as complete as I was hoping, that I kept the Moxie Life from that year, but I didn't keep the Laurel Denise. I took some pictures because I kind of liked the layout, and then I just had to let it go. But the Moxie Life ones that I was in all year that have like lots of details, much like my Twines and Paper I have right now, and then last year's Sterling Ink, I think. Like those books are smaller, and it was like really easy to just tuck away. And because I know there's going to be a point where I want to look back at what those days looked like when I was that age. And so in my 20s and my 30s, I do want to look back on those because I don't have scrapbooks, but to remember certain days. I'm also doing a 5-year diary, which helps as well because I'm jotting down some things in there. So yeah, these may just be playing around. These may actually be diving in because this one just started. This one I could just wait until next year. I kind of feel like, because I also have a Sterling Ink that is dated for 2025 that I didn't end up using, and I'm kind of like, maybe I just use it next year. But I'm also looking at Faded Chronicle for their A5 hybrid, and I think they pre-order tomorrow. No, 14th. So today's the 12th, and I think because I'm in the EU now, I'm gonna order from Miso Paper. The pre-orders open till I think the end of August, so I do want to get my pre-order in pretty quick. I think she had a TN. No, I think it was just a TN. I was gonna say she had a weeks. I'm gonna have to find a new weeks, or maybe go the TN route for my health planner, because I don't want to go with Twines of Paper this next year. Their layout did work for me this year. It really was as easy to set up as the Papertess one. Maybe I'll go back to Papertess, That to me is a little bit more open. I'll just find a week somewhere. But I do need to stay on top of all that health-wise, especially navigating a new country. But we'll see. I will keep in touch with like what I'm thinking about moving forward with. This was more, I'm curious. I want to see how these are. Can I utilize these for next year? And I need a little time to think about it, but I wanted to kind of show you them just because it was fun to grab these on sale and fun to see. Like, I'm sure there's pen tests out there of the Cosmo paper here, and I'm not too worried about any kind of issues. Like, I don't think I would decorate this. I think because it's so big, I was decorating my smaller one, but because this is so big, I think I would just write in it, you know, and keep it really simple. Maybe some highlights. So that's it. I hope, I know this video wasn't very exciting, but hey, sometimes I just like to share some of the new things I'm trying and ideas of moving forward. So let me know if you have any questions. How are you using any of these? Did you grab up any of these? Have you been using Papertess this year? I would like to go to Papertess and Faded Chronicle and Sterling Ink next year. That's just kind of my, like, using my Sterling Ink I have, yeah, just, it's an A5 linen compact for this year that I was just going to renumber. So how much do I want to renumber? I do have a lot of number stickers. So let me know what you're doing. Take care, everyone. Bye.